WLNS is here for you, celebrating 75 years of bringing you the news with 6 News at 5.
It's been a shocking start to the school year with 3 teenagers shot in a Lansing neighborhood. It's our top story at 5. Thanks for joining us. I'm Jorma Duran. A shooting investigation of 3 teenagers is now underway in Lansing after police responded to a call on the 3800 block of Wilson Avenue last night. 6 News reporter Taryn Simmons visited the neighborhood today and spoke to gun violence activists about this latest incident. She's here for you now live in the studio with what they said. Taryn.
Jorma, a 16-year-old, 17-year-old, and 19-year-old were found with gunshot wounds, and so far no arrests have been made. I spoke to neighbors, but many of them refused to speak on camera. But they can confirm there was a large police presence in the area last night, and the gun activist I spoke to today says it was tough to hear that 3 young men were shot. Daniel Bogan, strategy manager with the group Advanced Peace, says his organization has immediately responded to the shooting. The group has been in the Lansing area since 2022 when he says there was a large spike in gun-related murders. He says since 2 of the victims were minors, Advanced Peace will focus on schools in the area to provide mentorship to victims of gun violence.
Always assessing the situation. And trying to build relationships with those individuals who may be victims or the victims' families, so we can get as much information to make sure we can get in front of anything that could be bad in the future. In a roundtable type meeting with the superintendents, our superintendent here in Lansing, Ben Schildner, and try to make sure that our schools are safe as well and nothing spills over.
6 News has reached out to the Lansing School District for comment, but we have not yet heard back from them. But stick with 6 News at 6 p.m. We'll hear from another gun violence advocate and his method of putting a hammer in kids' hands instead of guns. Jorma, back to you.
Taryn, thank you very much. Colleges around the country are welcoming students back to campus, including Michigan State University. But with false reports of an active shooter at Villanova University and the University of Tennessee Chattanooga yesterday, safety and security are now concerns for students and their families. Here for you now is our Delaney Rogers, who's live in our studio. Delaney, what systems does MSU have in place to keep its students safe?
Jorma, with Michigan State University welcoming back more than 50,000 students this week, campus will be bustling, but more and more security measures have been put in place in recent years, like hundreds of new locks and metal detectors. Many of those were installed or expanded upon following the mass shooting that happened on campus in 2023. There are now hundreds of new door locks, and walk-through metal detectors can be found at entrances to Spartan Stadium, Munn Ice Arena, and the MSU Tennis Center. Emergency phones are also located throughout the university, and those phone booths display a green light, and if a student needs to contact emergency services immediately, they can push the big red button and be connected to dispatch. As of September of 2023, firearms have also been banned on MSU's campus with the exception of law enforcement. At 6 News at 6, we'll have more for you on the university's notification system during emergencies. Back to you.
Delaney, thank you very much. And according to doctors, safety concerns are just one of many things that can cause kids stress as they head back to school. Psychiatrist and author of the national best-selling book, High Functioning, Dr. Judith Joseph, uses an acronym to help parents prepare their kids. It's the word READY. R stands for routine. That's making sure kids are getting proper sleep and nutrition before school starts. E stands for expectations and adequately preparing children for what's to come. A stands for attention, monitoring what kids are feeling. D is for dialogue, which is checking in with your children and their teachers. And Y is for you, that's supporting yourself and your needs. She also has advice for parents whose kids are being bullied.
In these cases, you really want to validate what the child is going through. You don't want to say, oh, it's not that bad, or this is typical, because the reality of it is that bullying is way more intense these days.
She also says bullying is more intense because it can happen in person and also online. She advises parents to know their school's anti-bullying policy so they can be proactive, not reactive. Police in Detroit say they're still looking for a man who walked into the basement of Henry Ford Hospital this morning and shot and killed his ex-wife. The suspect, 65-year-old Mario Green, was seen on surveillance video leaving the hospital through the entrance around 9:55 a.m. He is currently on the run and is considered armed and dangerous. Officials say Green got into a verbal altercation with his ex-wife, who is a hospital employee, before firing multiple shots and killing her. And at a hearing today in Traverse City, the Walmart stabbing suspect Bradford Gilley has been ruled not competent to stand trial. The ruling made clear that he can't assist in his defense due to his mental state. Doctors say Gilley has paranoid beliefs and may have schizophrenia. Per the ruling, Gilley will remain at a forensic center for treatment to try and regain his competency to eventually stand trial, but right now there is no timeline for Gilley's potential trial, which will likely depend on his treatment. The iconic Jeep Cherokee is getting a new look. The brand is now rolling out a new hybrid model, a first for Jeep and a first in North America for its parent company, Stellantis. Last month, Stellantis reported their net revenue was down 13% from 2024, and due to tariffs, will cost the company around $1.7 billion this year. Officials from Jeep say this new hybrid vehicle is quite a ride.
It's something where you're going to be able to get that best of both worlds, where you're still going to get great range, but you still don't have the anxiety of maybe a plug or finding that charging infrastructure. Even though tariffs has occurred, we've actually repriced and lowered and improved the value equation across Jeep for almost every car that we're making right now, even though tariffs are still hitting our business.
Jeep moved forward on this American-made vehicle after President Trump implemented a 25% tariff on imported foreign cars and auto parts, which took effect in April, to bolster domestic car production.
From Storm Tracker 6, this is Weather First, sponsored by Auto Owners Insurance. Simple human sense.
Well, throughout my career, and from watching me on TV, as you probably know, I like to keep the forecast really simple. I don't like technical explanations or complicated graphics, but there are times when those are necessary. So today we'll talk about the jet stream, and you can think of the jet stream as the maximum winds. That's the yellow there, and the orange showing up is higher winds at around 25 to 30,000 feet in the atmosphere. It's important because it really dictates what we're going to see at the surface, and we've got changes on the way. By Saturday at 6 o'clock, jet stream is almost right overhead. Of course, we have a chance for a couple showers and storms on Saturday, but as we move into Sunday and Monday, it's going to carve out what we call a trough of low pressure in the upper atmosphere, just basically this dip, and that's going to have an area of low pressure associated with it, and it's going to funnel in cool temperatures into mid-Michigan and likely lots of lake effect clouds and some lake effect rain showers, and it's going to make a huge difference on our daytime highs. Now, all that jet stream energy begins to peel a little bit further to the east by Tuesday, but it's still close enough. It'll be another very cool day. As we move throughout the rest of next week, notice most of that energy disappears, area of low pressure gets kicked out, and we see a nice warm up. What that means for us at the surface is another dip. Notice we go from the 80s today into the 60s for highs by Monday and Tuesday, and as that trough begins to move out and the jet stream begins to shift, we'll see high temperatures warming back into the upper 70s, close to 80 by next Saturday. Our current temperature is also in the 80s, with 82 for Lansing, 81 in Mason, 80 in Jackson. It is a very pleasant afternoon. On the Skyview network, the McLaren Cam, we're at 80 degrees. A little bit of dew in the rain gauge this morning with some morning fog. Otherwise, though, a dry day. Current conditions in Grand Ledge, mostly sunny skies. We're up to 83 degrees, a whopping 1 mile per hour wind gust today. That was about it. In Jackson, a few more clouds outside. We'll still call it mostly sunny. Temperatures at 80, west winds at 6 miles per hour. And finally in Hillsdale, sunshine, temperature at 79. Not a whole lot of wind around today. Satellite and radar, showers and storms currently in the UP, all quiet here. It remains quiet through tomorrow morning, but clouds begin to increase. And by the midday hours, a slight chance of a couple pop-up showers and storms ahead of our cold front. That'll settle south and east as we move through the afternoon and the evening hours as rain chances go down. By Sunday morning, a few more clouds, maybe lake enhanced clouds begin to show up. So kind of a mix of clouds and sunshine for Sunday, and can't rule out a sprinkle even on Sunday, though the better chance will be as the colder air begins to move in by Monday. Tonight's forecast, low temperature 62 degrees with clouds on the increase. Tomorrow, a couple midday or early afternoon showers or storms. High temperatures tomorrow climb into the upper 70s. The 6-day forecast: on Sunday, a sprinkle possible. Monday, a better chance for a few showers. 40s for lows Tuesday and Wednesday morning. Once those clouds break, temperatures will start to warm back up. We're looking at highs near 80 by next Saturday, although some showers return Sunday into Monday.
I keep saying this all week. Boy, those temperatures, they've been turned down.
You're going to really feel the difference by Monday.
We will. All righty. We appreciate that. Well, coming up.
FBI agents raid the home of one of President Trump's former top officials. I'm Erica Brown from the White House with more on the investigation.
So stay right there. 6 News at 5. We'll be right back.